For joining me today, all. My name is Zuba. I am a teacher here in Madison and also online. I've been teaching for almost over 6 years, so I'm excited to share with you today 45 minutes yoga core. You can find me online just by Googling my name or my website, and Misty will share that in the chat as well. So no props today. You can just come to your mat. We will start standing. So do find your time to get on up. And I love teaching online, and people have the freedom to do what they want in their space. The important part is you carved out this 45 minutes to be with your body, your breath, and glad I can be there with you to do this practice today. So come on back to your mat. And when you arrive to your mat, you could even widen your feet a little bit, take a nice stance into the legs. We'll do some opening warm-ups and then invite ourselves to quiet our mind. And those warm-ups will start with a lift of the arms. Inhaling. Exhale, turn those arms away, palms down to the ground. Good. Inhale, rise through the arms. Exhale, drop them. Start to link your breath with movement. We'll do 5 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, root down into the earth. Link your body to your breath as you inhale. Couple more as you open up through the lungs, the arms. Let your palms meet together at the top and draw your hands down through your heart. You can pause right there, acknowledge the start of a practice. Maybe you close your eyes and let your breath fill up the torso. Honoring yourself today, doing what you need throughout practice. I'm just a guide. Let your mind start to root down into your feet so you can feel energy drawing into the earth. As you establish those roots, you can then start to lift your arms one more time. We'll take a gentle back bend. Palms might connect as you reach your thumbs behind you. Inhale. Exhale, draw the hands down through the heart and start to fold. You can soften into your knees. Feet are a little wider to start, opening the outsides of the hips. As you drop your head down, take a full breath out. Grab your elbows and start to sway side to side. Start to feel into the side waist, low back. And if you'd like, keep that head gently rocking right to left. Find one more exhale and meet yourself in the middle. Drop the head down. Start to bring those feet closer together underneath your hips as you rise into a halfway lift, hands to shins, even upper knees, and then fold again. Take that rooting cue down through the floor and then rise on back up. Inhale. Go, palms connect, exhale. We'll do 2 more folds into that halfway lift. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Vinyasa yoga, we link our movement to breath. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Root down through the feet and rise on up. Expand like those flowers coming out of the earth. Hands drop to heart. And we'll do 1 more fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, root. Halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Find some roots, stand strong and tall. Inhale, lift. Good, palms to heart. All right, we'll widen our feet 1 more time, just warming up our twisting muscles. We're gonna take our right arm and reach it up towards the corner. Let our heel rise on that side. Good, let's reach to the other side. And we'll do a couple revolutions here. Keep it moving side to side. All right, as those twisting muscles are warmed up, we'll use them today as we get into some core movements. Can again draw those feet wide. Let's take our arms out and open. Inhale. Draw the elbows in, pull the knees out. Exhale. Good. 2 more times. Rise up and out. Exhale, come on down. Good. All right, hopefully you're feeling a little warm now as we start our practice towards the floor. I'm going to turn to the top of my mat. Also going to remove the heat of my sweater. All right, so starting with a basic sun salutation, and we'll get down towards the floor. So inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, hands to shins. And exhale, let your hands meet the earth and step your feet back towards the floor. Drop your knees. Take stable table here where hands are spread wide, elbows point backwards, and see if you can find your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll prepare our shoulders and arms with a couple lowers, bend the elbows, and then press the floor away. Good, couple more. Shifting back, either child's pose or if you're ready, downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. Let the breath come in through the nose. Feel it in the belly. One more breath in. And then coming to your plank pose, you could do that from your knees. You could simply walk your hands forward. We'll take 3 more breaths, stabilizing here. If you're ready to lift those knees, you tuck those toes. Good. Find your strength and long spine here. So seat isn't lifted, tailbone's dropping or pointing back towards the heels. Breathe in. Next exhale, lower your knees down, bend your elbows straight back. We're going to the floor. 3 cobra poses. You can take your time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Hands are at the earth, but you're not pressing too hard. You're lifting from the back body. Good. One more lift. Tuck your toes and start to gently press back, either child's pose or again, if you're ready, downward dog. Hips go up and back. Take a full breath in and out. Sink into the connections of hands and feet. And then lift up through your abdomen, your tail. One more breath, downward dog or child's pose. Walk your feet to your hands. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Root down through your feet, rise on up. Good, palms connect. So we're using our sun salutation as a bit of prep. We'll try it again. Inhale. You can go from your knees to do the work from downward dog, plank, halfway lift. As hands go down to the ground, knees can go back. As you lower down, bend those elbows. Easy does it. Cobra. So take your time. You don't have to be right in line with my cues. Again, you have that freedom. You're at home. Child's pose or downward dog. 3 breaths. Sink into your breath. Notice there's a levity with the inhale and a rooting with the exhale. When you're ready, walk forward. Halfway lift. And release. Feel your feet rooted into the earth and rise. That'll be my cue today for you. It's spring season. Find our roots and blossom. We'll do one more of those gentle sun salves. You take what you need along the way. Halfway lifting. If you're ready for full plank, toes go tucking under and rooting behind. Lowering down and lifting up. Find your way for 5 breaths, either downward dog or child's pose, and just honor yourself right here. If child's pose is the next best thing, you take it. If you'd continue like to root through the hands and feet, you're in downward dog. Find levity with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. And let's walk our way towards the top edge of the mat. Halfway lift. Fold. We'll start our activating series with a chair pose. So we root down through the seat and we have this nice connection through our core. From there, our arms could lift forward. Good. Hug the legs together. Think about skin hugging to muscle, hugging to bone. Strong legs. Feel your breath out. Pull the belly button back. Good. And if you'd like, we'll stay here for 5 more breaths and a moving of the arms. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, rise. Follow the pace of your breath. It could be slower or quicker. And we'll root down through our feet and rise up through our arms. Optional little bitty back bend. Hands draw down to heart. Pause and catch your breath here. As we're stirring the body, we can continue to think about our roots down through the heels. We're going to take our practice down to the ground for a little bit of core focus. You can do this perhaps without using your hands as you step one hand back or one foot back. Hands stay lifted. Do what you can today to get down to the floor. Nice work. Okay, we're going to arrive on our back and do a little core focus. So when you get to your back, I'd like you to have your knees bent and feet planted. First, you can just kind of be with the stirring of the sun salutations as we start to bring ourselves to the earth. Both feet are rooted into the ground, palms face down by the sides of your hips. We'll start with the strongest muscles in our body, our glutes. As you press into your heels, a little mini bridge pose, hips lift up. If you'd like, stay for an inhale and exhale. Feel the breath come into the belly. On your exhale, you'll notice the diaphragm pull back and the core muscles tighten. Connecting with your breath, we'll take 2 more. And then lower the hips down. Take your arms and lift them over your head. You're going to start to reach behind you, but not so far that your back starts to arch off the floor. Keep your low back rooted, and then simply bring the arms forward. Keep the low back rooted, core engaged, arms lift behind. So we'll do several of these. This helps us prepare our upper core, holding the weight of the arms. So maybe you feel that rib cage holding on towards the center of your body so you're not arching your back. And those are your core muscles. Good. Let's interlace our hands and place them behind our head. And right here, you can roll the head gently right to left, a little bit of massage for the neck. And again, flatten the low back towards the earth, point the elbows towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, a gentle lift of the head. Lower. Good. So I call these somatic sit-ups, low and slow. We don't need to rush them. We tighten in through the abdomen and pull the head up. And gently relax the head. The elbows might even open. You could take a full breath in and out. We'll do about 3 to 5 more. You decide your pace. If you want to add a challenge to this, you flatten your back and lift your legs up. Oh, yes, that just up leveled the game here. Good. We'll take a little breather. If you lifted those feet, definitely lower them here. Let that head rest. Sway the hips. Knees go side to side. Good. So same series, but adding a diagonal. So the head's going to lift as the back flattens. Start to pull your right elbow towards the left knee. And then lower from that side. We'll go second side. Back is flat the whole time. Point the left elbow towards the right knee. You got it. You can do a couple of minutes of this work here, targeting specifically the core muscles, this diagonal crunch and cross. Find your breath for 2 more. That exhale might help with that oomph to lift the head from center. Good. We'll just have one more set, one more series. You can relax for a moment, sway those knees. Feel free to go back to those previous versions as we do another set here, or unlace the hands from behind the head, lift those knees up, and then you're going to use a diagonal cross. One hand is going to reach as you maybe lift the head. It's going to be easier to hold the head if you want to go back to that previous version, and your feet can always be down on the ground. Take it easy. Right hand's going to lift and cross to the outside of the knee. And then second side. You got it. We'll do 12. And that's just 6 on each side. Use your exhale, that oomph, to cross the center line. All right, you're almost complete with that big core work. Let's relax the head, soften the feet. Do what you need here. Knees can sway. Another option could be hug those knees in. All right, so I'd say that's the most difficult core work because we have to lift ourselves up with gravity down on us. We're going to flip ourselves over and see if we can do just a little bit more from hands and knees. Take your time, find a side, and roll to the top. Okay, so this class, specifically yoga core, that's probably why you showed up. You can do what serves here. We're going to start with this tabletop position. So there is some core contraction here. As you exhale, you might feel the abdomen pull in. Take 2 more diaphragmatic breaths, breathing from the belly. And we're going to do several variations of this core work as well. You're going to lean first into your left knee, start to slide your right leg behind. Glute muscles, also part of our core. If you hover that leg behind you, you're for sure turning on your glutes, hamstrings. And we're going to go knee to elbow. You're going to pull that knee in on your exhale. Doesn't need to touch, just directionally move it that way. Inhale out and exhale, pull in. Oh, I'm definitely already feeling my core at work here. See what you can help with your exhale, pulling in. How about 2 more? Nice work. Let's bring that knee down. Take a pause. We haven't done any cows and cats today yet. If you'd like to start to arch into the back, you can find that release. Cow and cat. But our core works best when it's nice and stable. Let's find that tabletop again right here, exhaling. Second side, so you're gonna lean into right knee gently, left leg goes behind. Core muscles of the glutes and hamstrings lift that leg up. Good. Let the balance kind of even out on 3 points, and your exhale will be a directional pull, knee towards elbow. We got about 7 of those. Take your time. You got it. You can pause at any point. And when you're complete, let that knee come down. You could stay here. You could go child's pose or cows and cats. I also like to cue organic movement. So if that is happening for you, you'd like to just sway those hips side to side. Go right ahead. Okay, we're playing with balance a little bit. We've gone to 3 points of contact with one knee. Let's go to 3 points of contact with one hand. Left hand stays rooted. Right arm lifts up. Good, just 3 of these. Elbow pulls in. Upper core, inhale, exhale. We're gonna add on in just a moment. You can always go back to an earlier version. And if you're ready, that left leg goes behind and then pull knee towards elbow. We'll do 4. So you're using opposite arm, opposite leg. And a little cat crunch. Nice work. Plant the hands. Let's definitely get off our wrists now. You can open those palms up, drop the head down as the hips go back. You could also do this lifted and up on your elbows if the hips aren't ready to flex. Take 2 breaths. Let the head rest towards the floor. This beautiful moment to let yourself feel your breath. And we'll do that second side. Come on up. Remember, this is just the core work part. And we'll be back to some yoga flow in just a minute. Left arm comes up. And you're just getting the hang of pulling that shoulder in towards your core. It's like the upper left quadrant of your torso activating to pull that elbow in. And if and when you'd like to add the leg, it's the opposite leg out and a pull. We'll do 4. Good. Keep it going. You can pause anytime though. Make this your own practice. As your hands come back down, we'll release with cows and cats. And again, that invitation for organic movement. And while we're complete with our specific core work, there's no doubts I'll probably cue that emphasis again. Let's go plank pose to downward dog. Also could be kneeling pose to child's pose. Take a couple breaths before we get back upright. I always like to look upside down for a second. The floor is the ceiling. Take a full breath in and out. Good. Walk those feet forward. Give your knees a gentle bend. And start to root down and rise on up. We'll find chair pose in just a moment. Hands come to heart. Chair pose, that seat goes back. Good. Calling on some stability now for the 4 corners of our body. As we did all that core work on the floor, now we just get to be steady here. Full breath, chair pose. Option to open the arms forward. Root down through the feet, rise on up. Good. Let's take our first warrior stance. We'll do warrior 1, left foot forward, right foot back. Set yourself up here, bend in the left knee. Long right leg, glute is turned on. And then adjust the hips so they're shining forward. Find that left big toe, rooting into the ground. Maybe feel that inner leg activate all the way to the left hip. All right, warrior one, arms come forward and we're not overarching our back. Good, full breath here. Take those elbows, pull them in towards your abdomen and gaze down at your open palms. Inhale, rise up. So this is subtle abdominal work as you pull your elbows in and do a gentle curl. Everything's stable on the legs. So one more time. And if your left foot is forward, you're going to take your left hand, grab your right wrist, and lean to the left corner of your mat. Gentle pull on the arm, full breath. Un or unhinge that open arm and turn it open, warrior two. Good, here we go. Palms are down to the ground. You're in maybe a familiar posture of warrior two. Do want you to check the hips here. If one feels lifted, you can drop them down so they're level. That'll activate the hip muscles. Take your stance, warrior two. Find that belly breath. Take your right hand, drop it down to your right thigh, lift your left arm up, reach towards the sun. Back to warrior two. So all that core work we did earlier, we can feel perhaps that pulsation from core outward, how we express into the world. Let's lengthen our front leg. Good, maybe bend it again. We're gonna go to triangle. We just wanna make sure that hip is happy in front. With a long front leg and not locking out the knee, we'll start to reach forward. Turn our left palm down to our inner leg. Our right arm goes up towards the sky. Now, in order to feel more grounded in this posture, you could simply turn your head and look down to the front big toe. Nice work staying. Triangle pose, pose of transformation. One more breath up the spine. Bend into that left knee, come back, warrior two. Or turn all 10 toes to the front edge of the mat, side edge of your mat. So you're in a wide-legged stance, a little wider than when we started earlier today. Take your arms out. Good, open up, expand through the torso. Good, pull the heels in, toes out, lower down. Horse stance. Good, you can do a couple things with the arms here. You could kind of cross them, wrap the arms around the body, or if you do eagle arms, you could find that variation as well. Right here, you're going to stay rooted through those legs, inner thighs definitely on, outer thighs as well. And if you'd like, you're going to dive into your navel. We'll do that 2 more times. The exhale, diving in, mirrors the diaphragm action, pulling up and in, core muscles tighten. Hey, nice work. Press down through the feet, lift on up. So you're going to turn your attention back to the front edge of the mat and simply stand at the top. Good. Just take a moment, let the postures leave the body as we prepare for the second side. And as I prepare for the second side, I'm going to turn around so my back doesn't end up at you. Right foot's forward, left foot's back, or warrior one stance. Right knee's going to bend. Left glute is on, connected down towards the long leg. Good, and just check your hips. If they feel like they're off to the side, just do a gentle turn so you can flex into that front right hip. From there, arms lift up. We got Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Find your breath. And we got 3 of those pulls with elbows. Exhale. Inhale. So legs aren't moving, just the upper body curling down. Now take your right hand and grab your left wrist and do it just a gentle diagonal pull. And from there, the left arm opens up. You take warrior two. Nice transition. Arms come down. Check your hips, right? So try to level that back hip if it rises. From warrior two, take your gaze to your front hand. Watch that front hand grow and rise as you reverse your warrior. Full breath. Warrior two again, turning that gaze towards the front hand. Start to lengthen the front leg. You can do this a couple times. Just letting those muscles know you're about to engage into that long leg. Soft knee, so we're not overlocking the knee. Good. Front hand reaches forward, triangle pose. So this is actually a sneaky core posture. If you think about it, your spine is at an angle. So you got to wrap some of those core muscles around. Keep that spine nice and long. If you have a lifted gaze, let's turn it down to the ground. Root down through that front big toe. Take a look there. And breathe in and out. Start to rise, warrior two. Good. Let's take our hands to our hips. We'll turn all our 10 toes towards the front of the mat once again. I'm actually going to shorten my stance. I'd encourage you to do the same. As you shorten your stance, we'll find some core engagement. Drop the tailbone down. Getting into a little bit of hip release, we'll take one heel and lift it up. So keep that toe pressing into the ground. Let your hip hike and then lower it down. Let's find that side again. Good. Engaged a little bit into the core obliques. We'll add the arm side curl. If you're feeling pretty coordinated with this side of your body, add that second arm. It's like reaching for the top shelf. Good. One more. Nice work. Second side, so you can pause in the middle. Working on these hip lifts. The hips do move in that upright position. Let's see if we can just tap a toe into the earth. Let your long leg press into the hip socket and hike that hip up. Then gently drop it. Good. I put my hands at my hips so I can feel that rise right at the top of the hip bone. Good. If you're starting to get coordinated here with those lower obliques, let's get those upper obliques involved. Reach. You got it. And if you're feeling coordinated on that side, add the opposite side, reach. Good. Nice work. We'll bring ourselves back to level. Let's do what we did right at the beginning of class. We turned those toes out. We dropped our seat down and we pulled our arms out. For 3 exhales, you're going to draw those elbows in, tighten in through the abdomen. Reach. Exhale. Good. I said 3, but let's do 2 more. I'm feeling connected, hopefully at this point, resilient through the center of your body. Good. And then let's reach up, star pose, long legs, long fingers. Nice work. Point those toes straight ahead. We'll get one more fold in wide-legged. So the pelvis is going to shift back. You're going to flex at the front of those hips. And hands might start to stream down the legs. Take a full breath out and let the head gently drop in the long neck. This is where those sighs can come in as we're starting to come to a close. Full breaths out. Relax those shoulders.
When you're ready, draw your hands up your legs. Find your hips again and let that be the hinging point as you start to rise. Good. Heel toe your feet together and come to standing mountain pose. You could pause, you could lift your arms one more time, draw those hands to heart. And hands at heart, you can bring your breath in and out. So once again, I'm going to give you that challenge to get to the floor without using your hands. And don't doubt yourself, anything's possible. I like to take it one knee at a time, shift my hips over, and let the legs come out in front. Nice work if you gave that a try at home. Always good to bail out too. You got the floor right there. No worries. Knees can have a soft bend, legs are out in front. We'll do a couple flows of the arms into a fold. Arms will lift and then exhale, lower. Good, we are getting to that cool down phase. Finding a fold that works in your body today. That could just be hands gently touching the floor. Maybe you hold the backs of your legs. Maybe you work towards longer straight legs. There's no right or wrong. You're simply sensing into this fold where the sitting bones are down towards the earth. The low back, mid back, upper back is starting to round. Chin is tucking in. Shoulders are relaxing. See if you can stay for 2 breaths. And then let your hands press into the floor and rise. We'll do staff pose here. Legs are going to be as long as you can get them. Hands are just going to root down right next to the sides of the hips. We're not going to lift the hips up at all. We're just going to gently press our hands down into the ground so our shoulders can anchor on our back. Then that allows our central channel to rise on up. You can even pull the chin back here, let the head stack over the rib cage. Simple breaths in and out. Release the pressing from the floor, and we'll start to sink on back to the floor. Nice work today. You can sway those knees. We'll do a couple minutes of guided floor stretches, and we'll end in a restorative shavasana. There'll be a couple minutes of silence from me, and definitely time for you to relax. As we get to the earth here, let's have those feet planted. Pick up your right ankle, cross it over your left knee. You can open that knee out to the side and try to soften that outside of glute. If you like that figure 4 stretch into the supine pigeon, you can grab for the back of one of your thighs, pull that leg up. This is a good decompression posture. While the hips are stretching, can you soften your face, shoulders, maybe even gently rock the head side to side? Let some deeper breaths come in through the nose. We got 5 more breaths here. And when you're ready to transition, you can take that leg, lower it down, uncross the ankle. Maybe you swish those knees in the middle. Second side, ankle over knee. This is more than enough just to stretch the outside of that hip. You could just stay right there. If you want to go a little deeper, you take your hands behind the thigh, pull up the legs, and don't let that add tension to the rest of the body. Let your shoulders relax, jaw and face relax. And if you can, keep up those belly breaths. Couple more breaths here. Allowing your legs to come down. You can swish and sway. So we're going to go back to that gentle bridge pose. And if you'd like to do that coordinated lift of the arms, the feet are rooted a little bit closer to your bottom so that when you press down into the floor, your shoulders get to be the other part of the bridge. The arms rise and you might lower with your breath. I call this moving bridge. Patient body, let your breath dictate the movement. So inhale a little rise, exhale fall. Notice the coordination you have in your body today. You decide if you want to stay lifted in bridge. You could stay up for a minute. Palms could come back down to the ground. You could tuck your shoulders underneath your upper back. Just be easy as we're closing practice. This is a slight inversion, so allowing blood to move towards the upper body and be recirculated in the heart. When you're ready to lower the hips, bring them down. You can take any final movements that'll suit you here. I'm going to do just 30 seconds of waterfall pose where the legs go up to the sky. A cooling practice before we close in Shavasana. When you're ready for your relaxation pose, bring it in. And it can look like anything that's comfortable, including coming up to a seat. I'm going to let my legs go long today. And sometimes I keep them bent for my low back. So if the low back is feeling a little tug and you want to keep those knees bent, go right ahead. If you want some extra connection, bring your hands to your torso, one in the abdomen and one at the center of the chest. And these are mindful moments where you can continue to be present to your body and to your breath. Resist the urge for the mind to start thinking thoughts, plans for the rest of the day or the weekend. Those things will happen. You're here right now. Inhaling, exhaling. You could bring gratitude in, honoring this body, this breath, your mind, your wisdom, and your joy. Invite in several more breaths. Feel gratitude, joy, honoring this time you took out today to practice yoga, unifying the layers of our being and finding harmony throughout them. As you're ready to transition, you take your time. You're in your home space, so you could stay and rest as long as you'd like. And if you're ready to turn to a side, you can make that part of your transition. Letting your hands root into the earth to come to a seat. And from that seat, root down through your tailbone, lift up through the back of the heart, the head. Relax your shoulders. Let your two hands come in front of your heart, honoring the connections you found today. Bow into that space. And then deepening your bow or intention to honor the practice of yoga, all the teachers before me and the teacher inside of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining. I hope to see you out there somewhere. You can find me online or in Madison. Oh, thank you for all the hearts, y'all. Really good to meet you. And do reach out if you need anything. Always happy to talk yoga. And yeah, really enjoy this practice. So thank you so much.